Hey folks, Beginner Bob here again, and I'm back on another project. This time I'm building a forge so that I can heat treat some of my knives. What I've been doing, if you saw one of my other videos, I was working on making some knives, and this is one of the designs I came up with. It's just a personal knife for me, but what I found out when I thought I was going to send it out for heat treating was that the local heat treating area where I live was going to charge me $90 to heat treat this knife, and that seemed a little extreme. So although they would have done a fantastic job, by all means, I considered it several dozen times, but I thought, well, why don't I just try and do my own heat treating and see what happens. So what I did is I did a lot of YouTube research. I looked at a lot of different burners because I'm making my own burner, and a lot of different forges that I could use, different style tanks I could use, like propane tanks or air tanks or just a box style. So I did a little research on YouTube, seeing what everyone else was doing and what successes they had and didn't have. And I kind of came up with one that I liked the most. Rush Fire Forge has a great burner that he sells the entire kit. He makes them for you, or you can just buy the parts from him. So I actually looked at his and I kind of copied his a little bit with only a couple minor modifications just to fit my application. But Rush Fire Forge is a good one to go to, and I'll show you what I did there. So on the burner, this is what the burner looks like in the end. Basically what it has come down to is this is a stainless 3/4 by 1 inch on the end, so it is not galvanized, it is stainless. I got that on Amazon, so that was a good deal right there. Just 6-inch black pipe. Then I'm going 1.25 inches by 3/4 inch, and this is for the air to flow into, and on the inside is where the gas is burning. Let me point out, so you can see my screws in here. These are 1/4 and I drilled the original holes, so I have some extra holes here and there. I drilled those by hand, meaning I didn't use a vise or anything like that, and I thought I could square it up, and I was wrong. So I went back and I used my press, my drill press and a vise, clamped everything in there square, and I have both sets of screws perpendicular to each other. Down on the inside, so this is where the flame is going to be on the inside when it lights, and this is one of the so this is a needle valve that will connect to this 20 psi regulator. This needle valve is where I got off of Rush Fire Forge's website. These are super difficult to find, and right now he's the only one I've seen that has them, so that's why I ordered it from. But basically this is all 1/4 inch pipe, 1/4 inch, everything's 1/4 inch up until you get into the meat of this, and obviously a 20 psi regulator. So this needle valve will actually adjust the gas, and when I get ready to fire that up, I'll probably shoot a video of that. So here's some of the parts that I went through. I want to do a quick jaunt. And on the 1/4 inch plug, what I used, it's a brass plug. I drilled a hole in it, and what I ended up doing is I used a number 57 drill bit, which is equivalent to about a .047, or equivalent to, this is a MIG welder tip, and it's about the same diameter hole. I think this is an 030 or an 035, I can't remember which one it is. But I just went and got the drill bits off of Amazon, a number 57, and there's several in there. It was like $6 I think to get this, but those are on the way. So some other stuff I got for my forge. I got this Castelite, so this is a casting. I originally ordered 5 pounds thinking, oh, that's going to be enough, and you can see by the size of my hand how big this is. It's not enough, so I went back and I ordered 20 pounds. So this is going to be for the inside of my forge. And then this is some ceramic coating for the Insul wool that also goes into the forge. I've got my little stove that I purchased on Amazon, and because I'm using 1095 steel, this is a Parks 50. This is my quench oil, so I'm going to try this little aluminum pan I got. I'm going to heat it on that to around 120, 130. I'll have to check that spec on that. But this is the oil I'll use to quench my 1095 steel. And then I got another little digital thermometer for that. So let's talk tanks. Originally, my plan was I wanted to keep this as a small forge, and I went to Harbor Freight and I got this little 5-gallon portable air tank. So my plan was to use an air tank instead of a propane tank. I thought it'd be a little bit safer. And it's small, but I bought it anyway. And what I started realizing was that Insul wool that's going to go on the inside is 2 inches thick. So if I do a rough number and run this across, I'm going to have a very small inlet hole for the knife to go inside and out. I just didn't feel like it was big enough, so I went back and I ordered the 7-gallon, the big red, which came in. I got it on Amazon again, and again it's going to be the same 2-inch, but it allows me a little bit wider opening once I get all this put together, which is what I prefer. I don't know if you can see these dotted lines on here. This is I went 2 1/4 from the edge just to see how much space I'm going to have, and it's approximately 7 inches across for my opening. So I like that, and I'm going to stick with this one. Here's the Insul wool that I bought. This is 2-inch thick. I bought 5 feet of it, 24 inches wide. So that's what's going to go inside the tank when I'm ready. So I just want to show you what I'm doing right here. This is going to be the beginning of my first forge, and hopefully everything will turn out well. I'm pretty excited about this, and I'm pretty nervous because, yeah, this is dangerous. So I'm taking my notes and making sure I'm doing this right. Anyway, I'll keep you up to date on what's going on, and we'll move forward. Okay, so this is the first test of the burner, and we're going to give this a shot and see what happens. Like it's working pretty good. Good enough. So I went ahead and jumped ahead on the tank. I wanted to get this out of the way. The most important thing is the opening. So this is the front. I just did a nice little shape in here, and I'm going to put this plate as my kind of my front. It's a thick plate, about 1/2 inch, complete overkill, but I had some scrap material available, and that's what I used. On the back end of the tank, this is my exit. It's a little bit smaller hole, so that way I can keep most of the heat on the inside, and so it's just a nice little cutout. That way, if I have a longer blade, I can still poke it through. And then now that I have that out of the way, I have this opened up so that I can get ready to put in my Insul wool and get everything set up for the next task. So this took a little while, mostly just design, measure, and everything. And I've got some extra steel here that I'm going to probably use for the frame. so that I can hold it together, and we'll go from there and see how far we get. Okay, so here's where I'm at so far. I've put the tank back together. I was able to get that wool inside there. I've been calling it Insa wool. I think that's the manufacturer, but it's like a KO wool. It's 2 inches thick, and as you can see, I've got everything in there. One of the things that I did on mine was I put the inlet for the burner at an angle, and so I have the gas kind of going towards the back and at an angle this direction, so that it will hopefully create this swirling vortex of heat inside there. But we'll see how that works. I'm not really sure because I've never built one of these before. That's the exit. I reduced the hole size of the exit just because I wanted to try and keep that heat as much as I can inside. And then this is just some extra steel that I had left over. So you can see I made this kind of nice little flat plate, and that way I can rest my tool or my knife on it as it's heating up. And this is where I'm at so far. So what I'm going to be doing next is I'm putting on the ceramic coating. This is that 100 HT. This is 1 pint, and I'm going to mix it 1 of these and half water. So this is going to get mixed up, and right now I'm just debating on, am I going to spray it in there with a little spray bottle, or am I going to brush it on with a brush? I don't know the consistency or thickness it'll have, but then I'll get done with that. Then when I'm done, I'll have the Castilite. This is kind of that fire brick or cement type. It's a mixture, and that will go into the bottom of the forge here. So that'll fill in right there, and I'm going to try and make a nice flat surface all the way to the back. So here's where I'm at so far. When I welded this up, I went a little thick on the weld, so I'll grind that up, make it a little nicer, and then eventually I'll clean the tank up and get it painted. But I just want to show you where I was at right now. All right, I got the ceramic coating in. I ended up having to use a paintbrush to put this stuff on, just because it was too thick to go through. Let's see if I can try and squeeze some light in here. But I did everything I could, as much as I could reach. I ended up pouring some in there so I could reach a lot of the crevices. And now I'm going to let this cure. On the bottom, you see I haven't done that yet because that's where I'm going to put the other stuff, that ceramic kind of cement-like stuff. I forgot the name of it. But I'm happy with this so far. I'll probably end up putting my burner in so I can get that mounted before it cures, because my understanding is once this stuff cures, it becomes hard as a rock. So I'll get that burner mounted up, let it cure, and go from there. All right, we're in the final stages now. I have everything painted up, and we are fired up. Looks pretty good in there. I just started it, so it's warming up. As you can see, I painted everything black just because that's what I had available. So there's some adjustments I need to do. So far it's looking pretty good, and I'm happy with it. I'm going to get some steel in here pretty soon and see how good it heats up, but I'm happy with the forge, the way it turned out. It was my first time doing this, so I'm pleased. Not bad for a beginner. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.